Well, let me say I'm 100% pro-USA. I don't believe in tearing down the government or none of that kind of stuff. Actually, you look at Occupy Wall Street, I knew that was a scam from the beginning. Yeah, I know the banksters are ripping people off and crap, but, if you go out there and protest in the street, that ain't going to do no good. Really, come on, man. You know that deal. It's a setup. It's a setup. And actually, big money forces got behind that to mislead people. It's like controlled opposition, and you think you're fighting the power, but they're leading you into a trap. Now, in the case of Snowden, I'm going to say I think he's a really good guy in his intentions. But he screwed up, because for me, I know the government's doing stuff that's screwed up. They're violating the Bill of Rights. They're going to screw people over. And there's like little Nazi elements in the government that are screwing things up. But I sure wouldn't go over to Russia and talk like he's being held by Putin, Putin, forget it. He's like, oh, come here, we'll help you out. Oh, bullshit. Go over to China, yeah. Venezuela, Cuba, Iran maybe too, right? I wouldn't be dealing with those fuckers for shit. But actually, I think Snowden's intentions were good. And he just kind of screwed up in his methods. Now, I want to make a recommendation for the next person that decides to defect and spy on the NSA and all this kind of crap. Now, one thing you could do if you want to stay in the United States, the only thing I could figure that's in the United States, it's not part of the United States, is the Indian reservations. If you can get a hook up there and hide out, that might be a smart thing to do. But in lieu of that, I think you should throw them a real curveball. First off, you can go to a Western nation. I start thinking, a Western nation, but they're all hooked in with the United States, so they deport you back. But how about something like this? Go find the enemies of a political leader in a country and stay with them, but in a Western country, right? Somebody that's like for freedom. So I started, the one you really want to say like this, for instance. What about a brothel in Paris? That would be a perfect place to hide out. And see, this is how this angle can work. Like French President Sarkozy, he passed Sarkozy's law in 2003. He made it illegal for women to solicit for sex and, dress inappropriately in public and stuff. But, Iran is accusing Sarkozy of marrying a prostitute because of the way she dresses, which is an interesting twist. But, you can go in there and hide out in a brothel and then use your NSA skills and secrets, to get dirt in on Sarkozy, get them all, boxed in politically somehow, get some dirt in on them, and then repeal Sarkozy's law and, make prostitution all good to go like it used to be back in before 2003. Now, see, that's what you got to do. You got to find the enemies of the Western powers and get in there and join forces. Now, that wouldn't be a bad exile if you're hanging out in a brothel in France, right? In Paris. That would be pretty smart. So, the next time somebody wants to be a rebel, hey, do it the smart way. You know what I mean? Don't go over to Russia. Putin don't give a shit. That guy's worse than the NSA. You go over to FSB, the successor of the KGB, and they go, oh yeah, that's terrible what the NSA did. If you would have defected on Putin and his FSB, oh, forget it, man. Look what happened to Boris. He's just critical of Putin. Boris Berezovsky, that was in London, that supposedly hung himself several months ago. Oh yeah. Oh, bullshit. And his limo blew up, and his chauffeur got decapitated and stuff. Yeah, they were trying to kill this guy for a lot of years just because he's critical of Putin. So you're going over to freaking Vladimir Putin? I think your intentions were good, but you're screwing up. So next time somebody defects, I guess you got to stick in with a Western nation, but you got to go in with the enemies of that leader in a Western nation. Like Sarkozy's a piece of scum, you know what I mean? Hey, get in with the freaking freedom fighters, the prostitutes, and the brothels in Paris. Hang out there, go from one brothel to another so they can't find you. And then, use your NSA computer skills to dig up dirt on Sarkozy and, do some freedom fighting for the prostitutes. You know what I mean? and get freedom restored in Paris again. At the same time, you will be safe from the NSA. And the other thing is, if the NSA does figure out where you are, you got some of the best women in the world to kind of like persuade them over to the other team, right? That always works, I swear.